a part of the apostle vision is that more of our young people, our children, can go with us to get a real sense of what life is there in the motherland, in the homeland.
All right. Apostles, you all have talked about so much here. This really sounds like really broad encompassing program, a project that you all have going on over there. Can you just give me a quick snapshot, just a quick rundown of all the different things that you're doing over in Liberia at this time?
This is what we're doing in Liberia at the present time. The first part of it is, of course, is the proclamation of the gospel, the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. We went there preaching. The first time that we got there, Apostle Taylor was preaching the restoration message there. That not only a restoration of the country, of the building, but there's also was restoration of the souls of the people there. And so the gospel of Jesus Christ is the first thing. That's what we do. We have seminars and we have preaching crusades where we preach there. But we also building up the lives of the people themselves. And so this is where we have agriculture in terms of the planting and the producing of crops, the building of homes. In the education area there, we have provided scholarships for children to go to school. And we are in the process of building actually schools themselves and providing for teacher training and teacher education. And in the area of health, there we already provided medical material, medicines and things. We were able to get the airlines to waiver the cost of, I think we had about 200 or 300 pounds of medicine that we took over. We were sad that we visited the JFK hospital there, which was a premier hospital in Liberia before the war, but was completely devastated, and the pharmacy had no medicine whatsoever. So it is things like that we're assisting with that. So the proclamation of the gospel, the planting of crops, the agriculture, the education, the schools, and health care, all of the things that are necessary there, that's what we're involved in terms, it's a complete nation-building process. And we have the audacity to believe that God has sent us for this very purpose, for such a time as this. But we are appealing to partners to come along and partner with us and to come for the restoration, for the rebuilding, and for the renewing of Liberia, which we hope and we know that will serve as a stimulus to the other parts of Africa for the rebuilding of the nation.
Okay, Apostle Taylor, so you're appealing for partners to help you in this mission of this calling. Now, how would a person out in the audience, if they're interested in contacting or getting in touch with you to partner here, how would they go about doing that? And are there any special qualifications?
When I was growing up in Louisiana, they used to say, all you need is a desire to flee from the wrath to come and be saved. And that's all we need, a willing heart, a person who's not afraid of work. One of the things my wife says to women who inquire about going, don't worry about hot curlers and irons and things like that. They will have no place there, and it's a wonderful learning experience for all of them. But if anyone who wishes to share with us, we would love to hear from you. We can be reached on 202-635-1508 is a direct number that we can be reached on. We're at 4900 10th Street Northeast, Washington, D.C. That's the headquarters for Faith Fellowship Ministries International. We would love to have support in any way that you can extend. We collect items to send to Liberia almost on a monthly basis, school supplies, clothing that are good clothing, not something you don't want, but something that you might have bought and decided that rather than to give it to someone, you can send it to Liberia. We'd be very happy recipients. And certainly one other point is the cost to go to Africa. This is very important, and it's most unfortunate that it's so expensive. But if you're desirous of going, we'll try to be very upfront and let you know far in advance. You will need about $5,000 to cover 2 to 3 weeks. That would be the cost of the airline ticket, and then we have to provide everything, our housing, our food, as well as expressions of support to the people who are there. We say it's tragic because you can leave Baltimore, for instance, and land on the continent of Africa in about 7.5 hours. It takes at least 8.5 hours just to fly to Europe. And from Europe, you have to go down to Africa. And on any day, you're going to go to Europe for $400 or $500 compared to the $2,000 to $3,000 that it costs to go to Africa. Well, there's a method to that madness, if you will permit me to say it. Because of the tremendous resources that are in Africa, we know that we've been intentionally limited in our ability to go there. Because as quiet as it's kept, Africa is rich. Liberia is one of the richest countries in the world. But the people have been persuaded to believe that they are poor because we have gone there and taken all of their resources. Liberia has the largest rubber plantation in the world, operated by Firestone, and yet the people who work the plantation live in poverty. We drove through there. It took us almost an hour just to drive the short distance going through. Liberia has oil. They just discovered oil off of the coast. Liberia has diamonds, gold, iron ore. The saying is true that you can drop a seed today and 3 weeks later go back and harvest that seed and have a good meal. It's so rich. In fact, as Apostle Williams mentioned about us planting, the specialists who came to look at the land said that the land was so rich, we did not even need fertilizer to do any of our planting. Hallelujah. And because the